There's a moment in every trader's life when the chart fades, the numbers blur, and all that's left is the heartbeat of risk itself. That heartbeat, that rhythm between fear and ambition, is what Jesse Livermore called the balance point. Before the profit, before the collapse, before the legend of the man who made and lost fortunes, Livermore understood something few ever grasp. Trading isn't about numbers. It's about equilibrium, the precise, fragile tension between risk and reward. So let me ask you, if you had to choose, would you rather be right or be balanced? Comment your thoughts below. When I first read Livermore's notes from his 1934 journals, I realized he wasn't talking about trading like the textbooks do. He wasn't obsessed with strategy or setups. He was obsessed with psychological symmetry, that razor's edge where a trader neither overcommits nor hesitates. He knew that most traders are destroyed not by the market's movement, but by their inability to maintain emotional balance when it does. Think about it, every trade is a paradox. The moment you buy, you're declaring faith in the future, and yet you know the future can betray you. Every click of the mouse is a confession of uncertainty. Livermore wrote that the market teaches humility faster than any preacher. But what he really meant is that markets don't reward confidence, they reward control. He learned this the hard way. In his early days at the Boston bucket shops, Livermore would bet small, watch the tape like a hawk, and never overextend. His entire philosophy of balance was born from those smoky rooms, the constant hum of tickers, the scent of sweat and fear. He realized that surviving wasn't about predicting the next move, but knowing when not to move. In a world where traders chase reward-to-risk ratios like holy grails, 2, 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, Livermore saw through the numbers. The real ratio, he believed, wasn't mathematical. It was emotional. How much pain can you endure before you act irrationally? How much uncertainty can you stand before you sabotage your plan? That's your true ratio, your personal equilibrium. He said, "It was never my thinking that made big money for me. It was always my sitting." That sitting wasn't laziness. It was balance. The restraint to not touch the trade when your nerves scream to close it. The maturity to let time prove you right or wrong without letting fear dictate the outcome. And yet, for every trader who understands this, 1,000 more fall to the illusion of control. They think balance is something you find in the market. But Livermore knew it's something you build within yourself. Because in truth, risk and reward aren't separate forces. They are twins forever bound. And your ability to manage both is what decides your fate in this game. But the real test begins when the balance shifts, when winning feels easy and discipline starts to fade. That's when Livermore's secret ratio reveals its darker side. The market's cruelest illusion is that success means safety. But in Livermore's world, the moment you feel safe, you're already in danger. Have you ever had a trade so good, so effortless, that it made you forget your own rules? Tell me in the comments, how did that story end? Every trader knows the intoxicating high of a perfect win, the precision entry, the clean breakout, the chart that obeys every line you've drawn. But it's right there in that moment of triumph that the balance point begins to tilt. Livermore used to say, "The market is designed to deceive most of the people, most of the time." What he meant wasn't just technical deception, it was psychological, the deception that you are in control. He once described how his greatest mistakes didn't come from losses, they came from profits. After a series of wins, he would feel invincible. He'd start increasing position sizes, breaking his own rules, chasing confirmation instead of clarity. The irony: every gain carried the seed of his next downfall, because success, unexamined, becomes arrogance, and arrogance erodes balance. This is the paradox of trading. You fight to win, but winning itself becomes the enemy. When you're losing, fear drives you to caution. Your stops are tight, your sizing is modest, your mind is alert. But when you're winning, comfort creeps in. The voice that once warned you to protect your capital now whispers, "Push it. You're on fire." And that's when the trap closes. Livermore's diaries describe this internal dialogue vividly. During his 1907 short campaign, he built immense profits as the market collapsed. But he admitted something most traders wouldn't dare, that his greatest fear wasn't losing money, it was losing discipline. He said, "I could not permit my successful trades to intoxicate me. The moment I felt sure of myself, I knew I was in danger." That's what separates legends from casualties. Most traders think balance is found at the bottom of a drawdown. But Livermore found his balance in the heat of success, when his mind wanted to celebrate and his instincts told him to wait. Think of balance like a pendulum. On one side swings fear, on the other greed. Most traders live at the extremes, chasing one emotion to escape the other. Livermore's genius was realizing that both sides are dangerous because both pull you away from neutrality. The goal isn't to silence emotion, it's to measure it, to sense when the pendulum is swinging too far and step back before it snaps. In modern markets, that pendulum is faster, louder, more deceptive. Algorithms amplify volatility, social media fuels FOMO, and dopamine disguises itself as confidence. But the underlying principle hasn't changed since Livermore's day. The moment you feel certain, you've already lost the balance. He treated each position like a living creature, not something to dominate, but something to understand. "A man must study himself," he wrote, "before he can study the market. Because charts don't betray you, your reactions do." And that's the quiet tragedy of the trading game. We don't lose to the market, we lose to our own imbalance. But what happens when the pendulum swings too far, when a trader becomes addicted to the thrill of risk itself? That's when Livermore's philosophy turns from wisdom into warning. The most dangerous point in any trader's life isn't the bottom of a loss. It's the moment before a fall, when success blinds you to the cliff ahead. Have you ever caught yourself ignoring your own warning signs, that small voice that says, "This feels too easy"? Share your story in the comments below. Jesse Livermore understood something few traders ever confront. The market doesn't destroy you suddenly, it seduces you first. It lures you with profit, feeds your confidence, and then, in one swift turn, takes back everything it gave. He lived through that cycle again and again, building fortunes that would have made him one of the wealthiest men alive, only to lose them all through the same psychological trap, the overreach born from imbalance. When Livermore was at his peak, he wasn't just trading the tape, he was trading his own emotions. But over time, he found that success carries a hidden cost, the erosion of humility. When you're winning, your subconscious rewrites the rules. The same discipline that once kept you safe now feels unnecessary. You begin to believe you've evolved beyond the market, that somehow your touch has become golden. Livermore called this the delusion of certainty. He said, "The speculator's greatest enemy is within himself." And this wasn't a metaphor, he lived it. After his legendary short of 1929, when he made over $100 million in today's terms, Livermore's balance, both emotional and financial, began to crack. The markets revered him. Newspapers called him the boy plunger, the man who conquered Wall Street. But in his private notes he wrote, "There is no conquering Wall Street. The moment you think you have, it will conquer you." This is the trap modern traders fall into every day. It's not about leverage or entries or news catalysts. It's about losing the inner balance that keeps risk and reward in harmony. Every blown account begins with a shift in that ratio. Risk becomes a thrill. Reward becomes validation. You stop trading the market and start trading your ego. The irony: the same traits that make a trader successful, confidence, persistence, conviction, are the very ones that, when unchecked, become their downfall. Livermore knew this deeply. That's why he believed in what he called the law of equilibrium. For every surge in confidence, there must be an equal rise in caution. For every winning streak, a deliberate pause. For every moment of pride, a moment of reflection. Because the market always demands payment. If you don't pay with discipline, you'll pay with capital. He once told a fellow trader, "If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be this: Never let a profit make you bigger than the game. The market is infinite. You are not. And that is Livermore's true secret ratio, the one no chart or system can define. The balance point is not between two, one or three, one reward to risk. It's between ego and awareness, between desire and patience, between believing you can win and remembering you can lose. The traders who master that balance don't just survive, they endure. Because when the pendulum of emotion swings violently in both directions, they stand still, centered, calm, and ready. So the next time you stare at a chart, remember, you're not battling the market. You're balancing yourself within it. That's Livermore's hidden ratio. That's the real secret behind every lasting trader.